Look at him. He's just dickered. Just dickered, boys. Son of a bitch.
Yo, yo. Class A, and macro. Not connected, not elected to participate. Bouncing down the stems will make your head hurt.
Everybody, welcome back to Take or Wide. This is episode 286. It's Monday, September the what? Today is the 9th? Yeah, September the 9th. Yeah, Sabs just announced our West Coast tour with Adeline. If you guys are listening, yeah, we're going to be out in all those major cities: Winnipeg, Edmonton, Regina, Saskatoon, Van, everything. All those major ones. Everything's posted on the social media, so check that out. We're very stoked to be coming back out. It's been a long fucking time, man. Last time I was out that way was 2015. Yep, with B-Pigs and Dead Ranch. And that was a fucking rad tour for a lot of reasons. So yeah, we're gonna have the splits with us, the Great Falls splits. We're gonna have the Goodbye Audio records and the Flexi disc, new merch. It's gonna be fun. So make sure you check out that page and make sure. I just wanted to shout that out for all my friends who are listening. You guys probably already know, so maybe some people don't, but. Yeah, so each episode is brought to you by some really rad people, so let me shoot those off really quick. I should almost time this to see how long it takes, but first one up is Brew'ed Biscuits. Wow, brain fart. Brew'ed Biscuits is an all-natural spent grain pet treat. Spent grains are basically the oats and barley that have been steeped in hot water to remove the sugars for the wort for brewers, and this company upcycles these grains into pet treats. They're cooked in a commercial kitchen. There's no hops or additives or salt or alcohol or sugars. They're 100% natural. You can order online. Go to twospentgrains.ca, TWO, and they're affordable. You should go check them out for real. Just go to twospentgrains.ca, see what they got, and order a bag for your pup. Ocho loves these treats. They're really good. They're good for pups and for old dogs. So follow them on social media. Find them at Brew'ed Biscuits. Really great company. Next, we have Heartbeat Hot Sauce. If you're a hot sauce fan and want to try what I think is the best hot sauce I've ever had, try some Heartbeat Hot Sauce. You can find it in stores across Canada. I think it's into Europe now. It's in the States. Al and his partner Nancy are killing it with the hot sauce. Red Habanero was my introduction to them, and it's fantastic. It's the best hot sauce I've. Really, it is. It's there's no thickening agents added. It's all natural. Yeah, that's what else can I say? I can't sell it to you. You have to go try it. Go find it. Go to heartbeathotsauce.com. Find it where it's in your local area, because I'm pretty sure it will be. And go buy some and try it, and then let me know if you guys want. It's so good, so good. heartbeathotsauce.com. Next, we have Kevin Rego of Heffner Toyota at 3121 King Street East. Kevin is an old friend of mine. He's a car salesman, and he's rad as hell. Some of you might have seen on the Instagram, I had attended one of his events, and hey, he's an active guy in what he's doing, and he's supporting the show, and he's a great dude. If you or someone you know wants to buy a car at Toyota, go see Rego. Tell him that I sent you, and you'll get special pricing on new vehicles. And it's just, he's the best. Your aunt or mom or anyone you know of is thinking of buying a car, just throw his name in the hat. Kevin Rego. Find him on Facebook. And yeah, 3121 King Street East in Kitchener at Heffner Toyota. And lastly, Wellington Brewery. Wellington Brewery provide me with the beers. This last weekend I was at their Casket Fest? No, Casket Fest? My fucking phone. I saw Block Parent, and it was rad, and they're super dope to be on board with me. The Hell's Lager are kind of become my favorite beer from them. But you can find it at your LCBO or wherever you get your beer. Or if you're not around this way, stop by the brewery in Guelph if you're ever there. So for this episode, I spoke to Chris Lee. Chris Lee is the bass player for Diner Drugs. They're out of Moncton. They got a new record, As Is, coming out this Friday, I believe. Yep. And yeah, he's an old friend. I met him when Sabs were out that way, and he was playing in this sick band called Bong Jovi, which is still one of the best band names ever. And yeah, we just catch up and all the podcast stuff that it always is. So hopefully this is a great way to start your week. This is 286 with Chris. Man, I'm fucking stoked. You guys got a tour coming up then?
Yeah, we're kicking it off in Halifax on the 13th with our good buddies and Heart Attack Kids. We've played with them a few times now, so it's just going to be really fun to like catch up again and hang out, play some more games.
They got a new drummer now too, eh? Buddy left or something?
Yeah, so I think he was going back to school. They're kind of like got accepted somewhere, and it's one of those. Well, do it now. Well, you still got a chance.
Sure.
And I think they're able to bounce back really quick. With one of our buddies from Halifax, Laura Sangster.
Okay.
She plays in awesome bands down there. Worst Part being one of them. And so I think she's learned that songs really, really fast, and she's gonna be ready to go. So that'll be kind of a double bonus for that tour.
Yeah. Ah, sweet, man. It's like I love this podcast because I can keep touch with like all my homies who are still doing things, and to like, so people who don't know, like Chris used to play in a band called Bong Jovi years ago. And
Yes.
how long ago? Like when we first started coming out that way, like 2010?
I think so, because I think I was still underage kind of thing, like just almost turning 19. I remember there's a couple gigs maybe before we met up and stuff like that, or just after, where it was like, okay, cool, well, we'll see you guys kind of thing, and we'll be outside after the show.
Yeah.
But it's been a while now.
It's been a while, man. And then like I see Jesse's doing his glass blowing, and then I saw that you started this Diner Drugs thing, and Sean needed a shirt for you guys. It's like really picking up steam, I think.
Yeah, like it kind of started in the sense of like, well, Jesse was doing his glass blowing too, so like he was getting really kind of like not wrapped up in that, but really enjoying it, like kind of diving deep. And I was still looking to play some music, and then a guy from Bong Jovi, Josh, he had a younger brother, Jackson, who we're all buddies with and stuff like that.
Okay.
And, yeah, he's always been a really good guitar player, so it was one of those. He turned 19, and we're like, hey man, well, did you want to jam? And I kind of asked Jesse if he wanted to start something new. And it kind of just started for fun, and then it kind of just picked up from there. We kept writing and kept getting into it.
That's Josh's little brother.
Yeah, so he's got, they're twins. There's two of them there. But, that's just two twins.
I got to look at that photo right now. I'm just on your Bandcamp. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. I never knew that.
Yeah, no, man, they're very similar, which is nice in the sense of, well, Josh moved to Montreal. He's playing in Gasm now, which is really awesome. But it's still nice to have kind of the same type of dude around all the time in the band. Got the same, like on time planning, all that kind of stuff as Josh. So, man, we got another Landry brother. It's awesome.
Wow, that's fucking awesome, man. And like, you did the EP, and I saw Shawnee did like the shirt for you guys. But like, I saw you did those Cancer Bats dates, and now you're doing these dates. Like, yeah, it's fucking awesome, man. You must be stoked.
Yeah, man, it's really nice to finally, not finally, but I guess, we have the chance to be able to play a little bit farther. We're a bit older now, so it's easier to kind of, save some money at work and then kind of plan around that. We've gotten really lucky, too, with friends pretty much living in every town we've gone to so far, so it's a place to crash and at least a couple people to come out. But, we kind of figured it's like once it started getting a little busier, we're like, well, we might as well, try to go for it for real, you know what I mean? And play as far as we can, I guess. But yeah, no, it's been a blast so far, getting to actually experience, I guess, some tour dates and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And lots of driving, cramming into a mini.
Sure. Shit, hold up. Someone's trying to message me. Can you hear me still?
No worries. Yep.
Yeah, well, it's like I Bong Jovi, like you guys didn't tour or anything like that, but you guys had tons of experience with because I feel like you guys were the band to play with in Moncton.
That was kind of like it. We were kind of like, we were resident, people sort of thing. So it was like, cool, well, if you're playing, we're down to play. We didn't have enough, not enough time, but Josh was doing school, he was doing university. So we never really got too far with that, but it definitely laid the groundwork for everything. We got to meet a lot of people, and then, once we got to get to this, it's like, that's all paid off now, where it's like, hey, by the way, we're doing something new. What's up?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like, when we met you guys, you were just such a legit band. It was also these kids are kind of young, but it was just more than that. You guys were a good band, and yeah, man, that shit. It sounds I don't want to sound cocky, but real recognized real type shit, where it's just you guys are on the level, and it's cool that stuff like that can kind of pay off later.
Yeah, I think we kind of in the local scene got raised right in the sense. The older bands too kind of showed us some of the etiquette, and we watched them when they played and what they did.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Like, how do we learn from that and expand on it? So we definitely owe it to a pretty awesome scene from the start. Like, there was some of the older bands, like the Motor League guys. They would put on all ages pretty much out of pocket. Like, they wouldn't even play most of the shows in that sense, but they put it on so kids could go see shows.
That's cool.
And for music that way. Yeah, it was really.
It's interesting with Moncton, like, because I always feel like it's been a good spot. Like, for your experience, like, how has it been? Because I feel like it was like not peaking, but there was like the Paramount and like PJ was doing that, and then I don't know if like every scene will go up and down, but how has it been for you? How's your perspective on the Moncton scene, like living there?
I think like it's kind of exactly that. It like rises and falls kind of thing. And there's kind of maybe a bit of a fall after the couple years of like when the man had shut down and stuff. But like Kyle McDonald's the Zom bass player and singer there. He kind of really started booking shows and stuff at a different bar, and basically kind of brought it back around. We had a house show venue for a while too, so that really kind of brought the punk scene a lot back out and stuff. So it's like, even if it kind of like dies off for a little bit, I guess, like somebody kind of revives it. Somebody gets excited about it again and stuff.
Yeah. Who like, because you're not like the kid anymore. You're like the older guy. Are there like still tons of young kids doing gigs and playing, and like, is there an all ages scene there still or no?
There's not like, well, I mean, I guess there is still an all ages scene. Like the Quads House one was kind of like, it was all ages in the sense of like, you'd have like 16 to like, I guess, 18-year-olds still going up to the show as well, kind of thing, and everybody.
Nope.
Well, ages venue. We don't really have something right now that's like kind of like going for that, but it seems like we see some younger kids starting bands and stuff. We've seen a couple, new groups on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. So it seems like it's kind of starting to maybe get a bounce back. It's just hard finding a place to play for the all ages.
Yeah. Well, was Plan B's closed now too, right?
Yeah, so that kind of closed, like, not out of the blue. It's been around for a long time kind of deal. But it closed down, I think, in the spring of this year. And then, like, it's closing for renovations, but hasn't opened up yet. Most of the cabos.
I feel like a dude like Kyle, really did a lot to help the scene, and even like to bring eyes on the city. Like, Zom's really doing so much, and, for him to throw shows, like I definitely felt like when he did the last Grubert show, he was really doing a solid. It's work for him to do, but someone's got to do it. Someone's got to keep shit aflame.
That's pretty much it. It's like he knows he's going to carry the torch kind of deal. It's like if he doesn't do it, nobody's going to do it, and there'll be no scene at all. So he really puts a lot of hours into it. I mean, he records a lot of the band's albums from here and stuff too. So it's like he's doing it all around. He's recording this album that we have coming out, and he's also like helped us with like ordering our vinyl and stuff, so we didn't know where to go for that.
Sweet.
So yeah, all around he's a hero there.
He's like truly like a scene dad.
Yeah, exactly, looking out for everybody.
Did he do that? Did he take care of the Cancer Bats show? Like, how did you get lined up with that Dead Quiet Cancer Bats run?
So I think he definitely put the word in, because I think Mikey from Cancer Bats was kind of like acting around, like, who do we play with in the East Coast? It's been a while since we've been here. He mentioned that, as well as a couple other buddies. And I think it was him that put it on, as far as like, well, it was the Tide and Board Ballroom that put it on, but I think he had a part in kind of like, making it all happen. At that point. So you didn't get to see us play it. But basically, yeah, Cancer Bats messaged us, and we couldn't believe it because it was one of our favorite bands growing up and stuff. So it was kind of like, holy shit. And then fans and Dead Quiet fans, it was like, holy shit, like we get to play with both of those bands.
Yeah, man, that bill was stacked for sure.
A lot of fun every night, and they really taught us a lot. And, they really kind of had their patience with us and stuff.
Like, how so? Like, just like.
Well, like, I guess in the sense that it's like, okay, cool. So what do we do now? You know what I mean? It's like, it's after sound check. Do we need to do anything? Oh, the field kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like you have to go to the gear, all that kind of stuff. Like, no, you guys just relax. We got it. So like, I think we kind of knew it was one of our first big runs. You kind of like let us help get the jitters out that way.
Yeah, man, that's such a cool. Like, I've had a few moments like that where it's kind of like big boys club shit, where it's like, oh, this is what it's like on this side of the fence.
That's kind of it. It's like when we got laminates too, we're like, oh wow, we got one of those. Like that's easy, you know.
Yeah.
Even like just I guess the level of like some of the venues we played. We played the Marquee in Halifax on the last night, and that was pretty huge. So it's like, you know, seeing it playing on a stage that's really big, it's packed kind of deal. It definitely kind of like was one of those wow moments. Like didn't think this would ever happen kind of deal.
Did so were you guys were part of the package, or like how did it go? You guys then Dead Quiet and Cancer Bats every night, or were there other locals on some of the shows?
So most of the shows there was at least one other local. I think PI was the only one we didn't have another local. But yeah, we were part of the package every night from well, we started off. Where did we start? I can't remember which show we started, but basically once the coast date started, we jumped on there. We didn't leave like the Maritimes kind of thing.
Yeah, okay.
Dates I think in Ontario kind of area with them. And then, well, you got like the next show's coming up out west. They have a different couple openers there too.
Word. And did it, like how did it go? Like did people like were people there early enough for you guys, and people dug you guys?
Well, it seems like most times there's people like already a bigger crowd than you know some shows here kind of thing in that sense that were there, and I think it was excitement for the show. We've around in most of those towns too in that sense. Like we were a little familiar, so I think it was kind of one of those. Oh well, let's get out early and check it out.
Sure.
We had familiar faces in each town, which was awesome. It made it a little bit easier to kind of jump up there on a bigger stage and you know not feel so nervous.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Like, yeah, it's just like bigger leagues shit. Like, there's not more on the line, but there kind of is. You know, you don't want to be shitty. You want to use that opportunity to like, you know, actually maybe gain some new fans and shit, that type of stuff.
That's exactly it. You don't want to like necessarily kind of just waste the chance that you had to open on a show and have that, you know, extra exposure, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's one of those like you don't want to like fail, I guess you could say, yourself and your bandmates, and you know you don't want to let those guys down that kind of brought you on for it. So it's like no pressure, but like you know try to make sure kind of
I hear you, man. That's fucking just so great, man. I'm so happy for like, you know, rad dudes getting cool opportunities. So with this like new record, did it take a while to like kind of come to fruition, or was it kind of quick?
It was a little bit of both, I guess you could say. Like by the time we were putting out the first EP, we had a few of those songs already written, so it was kind of just fine tuning those. And we'd recorded the album, I want to say maybe about a year ago, but just like we never got a proper tour for the EP, so we figured we'd kind of get that out before we started, you know, playing new stuff and all that. And then just kind of with like making our plan for vinyl, saving up money, paying back, you know, I guess like. Well, not paying back, but ordering more CDs for the first EP and stuff. It just felt like it was probably better to wait. We kind of thought about releasing before the Cancer Bats tour like had been announced, but then we're like, okay, well maybe we should wait a bit longer until after that. So it was kind of like it was written pretty quickly, but it was like I guess you know fine tuned and kind of like perfected over an extra year time.
Sure. Now looking back, do you regret not putting it out for that Cancer Bats thing? Because that's definitely a great like had it have been out, that would have been such a great opportunity to have it out and do that tour. Or you know, do you look back and feel like it was a good decision?
I think it was a bit of both, like in the sense of it would have been nice to have that album, you know, like we sell a couple extra copies in that sense for the tour. But I think we put out the video for one of the songs, Rotten Eggs, just before that tour, so it gave us something to kind of ride off of.
Okay.
But I think it was a good decision in the end because we kind of would have like buried it in that sense, because it's like that would have almost been our tour to release the album in the East Coast. We wanted to do a separate thing to kind of make it stand out a bit more and kind of get the full you know round it deserves sort of thing.
Sure. So you guys are putting it out yourselves?
Yeah, so for this one we decided to kind of go like, well, it's like through Super Bob, which is Kyle's label, Kyle McDonald's. Yeah. So it's kind of independent, I guess you could say, in that sense, but through his kind of cataloging. So yeah, it was a lot of kind of, you know, just us just scraping together cash as much as we could. Jordan Fournier's stepdad helped us out with a bit of money just to get the rest of the vinyl ordered and stuff. Cool. So we really friends and family helping out a little bit to put together. Man.
The East Coast truly has that, like, I don't know, hometown vibe every town you're in. There's like something really, you know, I love that Buddy's dad helped out. Like I feel like that's so East Coast.
That's pretty much it, man. It's just like everybody kind of helps everybody out here kind of thing. And right down to shoveling the driveway out, you know, like bands just being like, oh man, I saw you look like you're short a lead cable kind of thing. Just
Yeah.
back, want to make sure everybody gets by with no problem.
Yeah, man. Fuck. So for the tour, and because the record comes out September 13th, so like right away. And
Yeah.
is the tour? I forgot to look at the dates. Is it like right around the release date too?
Yeah, so the first date's going to be in Halifax on the release date.
Okay.
So basically, kicking it off on that day. Like we're getting our vinyls in next week. Like they're in transit kind of thing.
Oh wow.
So those like get up and go. I mean, the Heart Attack Kids, they wanted to do their East Coast tour around those dates, and we're like, well, that's your East Coast tour for your new album. Let's do our new album at this.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so it's gonna be like two. That's great, man.
Yeah, double album release, and I mean, they've been around here quite a bit, so they have a lot of fans. So I think that's pretty awesome for them. It'll kind of be a nice little, let's play everybody's new stuff kind of show.
Yeah. Wow, that works really well. Cause is New Damage putting out their stuff?
Yes, I believe it's New Damage that's been putting out their stuff, and like they put out like the couple singles and the new album, and it seems to be really awesome. Like they seem to be a good label, I think, and all that too. But yeah, so it's like they're getting that released down there, and I mean us getting on a couple of their posters when Heart Attack Kids, I think it kind of helps give us some exposure too.
Sure. Are you guys doing like a PR treatment and like hiring people for the release, or you're just kind of like how are you handling the release? You'll do the tour. Do you have a video?
Yeah, I think basically we don't really have any PR stuff. We're hoping like we'll put the release out and just kind of post it everywhere. We've got it on the, we'll have it on all like the platforms, the streaming platforms and stuff. We'll have it on Bandcamp so you can do a digital buy, and then we'll just have like, albums will ship out everywhere and all that stuff. So we're pretty much going to handle it ourselves.
Yeah.
The most part, unless it gets, I guess, too overwhelming.
Sure.
But we'll probably do another video too. Jackson's brother, Jonah, he does all the videos for us. So it's kind of like he usually has something planned out and he can turn it around pretty quickly most times. So I think throughout the fall and the winter, you'll see a couple more videos coming.
Cool, man. Man, it must be so exciting though. Like it's the honeymoon stage of a band. It's like a relationship when you first start someone and the first of any band. Like, yeah, like I guess between Bong Jovi and this, like you hadn't really done anything else though, right?
Not too much. Like I did, I filled in an Iron Giant for a little bit while PJ was working out west. So I kind of got like, that the heavy music fill there. I played in a band called Savage Young that was with one of the other guitar players, Sparky from Bong Jovi. Okay. And it was a little more like surf punk kind of thing and stuff. So I got to play that for a little bit before he moved away to Halifax. And then, it was about a year off of music until I was pretty much just getting crazy with a few riffs at home. I was like, oh man, I got to try something,
Yeah. So, yeah, this is the first full length. You did the EP, and I'm just looking now. It's Rotten Eggs is the first track that you can get. Were there songs that didn't make the record?
Yeah, there was like a couple that like kind of came close. It was like, okay, well, it's just not really developed enough. Like, let's sit on it a little bit more. I think. Like we had two more that were kind of contenders, but I think we kind of we've sat on them, we've refined them a little bit more. And we're kind of sitting on those for possibly the next record that we'll have coming out.
Sweet. Wow. Yeah. Man, the ball's just fucking rolling for you guys for sure.
Yeah. Well, like we've all known each other in the sense of we're all guys from like, well, Jackson included, like from other bands that have all played together. I mean, Jordan, the guitar player, singer, he's played in another band, THC, with Jesse. Like that was kind of going along the same time as Bong Jovi. Mm-hmm. He also had Dave from Bong Jovi was in that band. So they had the same chemistry, you know what I mean? Like they knew what, are in sync with each other. Me and Jesse have been playing music since we were kids together. So it's like, we were already tight. So it's kind of just naturally, we're pretty good at being like, this is good, this doesn't work. We do 2 jams a week and we just kind of stick on that all the time. Okay. Like we all in the same block. And I think that keeps everybody kind of like on point all the time, I guess you could say.
Do you, like, now that you're older, did you ever have a time when you felt like we have to jam 5 days a week? Like, is 2 days a week enough, or do you want more? Or like, what's your take on that?
I think like now that I'm a bit older, I definitely appreciate it a bit more. Like when we were a bit younger, we'd jam and stuff like that, but it was a lot more of like, well, let's jam with a few songs. We'll have a few beers. We'll jam a few more songs, have a few more beers kind of thing. And now it's like the jam thing is also where most of us are all working kind of thing. Like, well, except for Jesse, but he usually grinds like, crazy hours to get an order deal. But it's like we're all working like day jobs and stuff like that. So it's kind of almost like going to the clubhouse and getting to hang out with your friends.
Sure.
So you look forward to jams, and We would like to have more, but I think also at the same time, it's like, okay, well, that's enough time of like, getting stuff done because you don't want to overkill it and stuff.
Yeah, I
But
think. Oh, go ahead.
as we say, we call it like the 2 jams thing. We call the Tuesdays the work day jam kind of thing. You're working on stuff, maybe a few new riffs and all that. And the Fridays are usually the kind of like let loose, not necessarily party jam, but it's like, we'll relax more, have a few beers, and kind of like let it slide if we screw something up a bit more.
Yeah, man. I think I've had a fault of going too hard with like having, and I still try to figure out a good balance of needing to like feeling like I need to jam more versus like maybe I don't, maybe I can just relax a little bit and just I've been actually trying to be more vocal about that with like Mark, at least, where it's like we were jamming and like being very kind of militant with like do the set, blah 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 blah, but I've been finding more benefit in less of that and more of just me going to the hall and kind of fucking around.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, if you don't fuck around, it kind of feels almost like you're doing a job too, right? It's like just jamming the set. You feel like you're not really going forward in that sense. It's, I guess you're perfecting that kind of like, your set that you're currently playing, but you need to have that fuck around time a little bit to kind of let loose and maybe an idea comes out of it kind of thing too.
100%, man. Yeah. It's fun and cool to like still be figuring this stuff out. I was talking to Mark about that tonight. Actually, we had a beer and just saying, talking about recent mistakes we've made just in general. And it's like, yeah, we didn't go to school. No one goes to school to like figure out how to be in a loud rock band.
Yeah, you just put the pieces together and you learn from the mistakes and
kind
stuff.
of, yeah. But yeah, you said like you must be excited for the new release, and the cover itself was like just what's the story behind that? Where did you guys film it or photograph it?
So basically, for that, yeah, like we are really excited for the release. It's been like, well, we haven't put out too much stuff, all of us, so really nice to have another vinyl come out kind of thing. But for the cover, we did kind of like, I don't remember how we thought of the idea. We wanted to light something on fire, but we basically kind of were like, okay, well, we could do kind of like those like barrel fires you see outside in some places. So we had some buddies from a band called Chainsaw Boogie who worked at a factory outside of town in Sussex, and basically we're like looking for a barrel. So he's like, I can hook you up with one. And our good buddy Brock's a photographer, and he's really good at what he does. So he's like, man, I can shoot this if we do it. So we found a location. It was an abandoned kind of location, but it was still in a city. So we basically had a really small amount of time before this could go wrong. We dragged the barrel out. We forgot to spray paint the logo on the barrel first. Yeah, it's the middle of winter too, so it was really cold. We took our jackets off so we wouldn't fuck them up and all that. And spray painted the barrel logo on there. We used basically the lid of the barrel and like we pushed it in, put just a little bit of like paper and then gasoline on there and just lit it really fast. And I think it was like long exposure or whatever, however they shot that. And then we put it out real fast, spray painted over the logo and got the hell out of there. And we days later when it was kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it now and it's cool, man. Yeah, I was actually like quickly looking the smaller picture on Bandcamp. I was like, did they fucking like Photoshop the text on it? But yeah, I can see it's like a stencil, right? Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, we like spray painted, put a stencil on it, spray painted through. We cleaned it up a little bit, I think, online afterwards, but the other side of the barrel wasn't done as well. There's the trial run of the stencil. Like, okay, it didn't work this time, let's try again.
That's awesome, man. I like that idea of keeping things in-house, you know what I mean? Like even like that, like I don't know. It makes the whole package way more personal. Where it's like, yeah, we were there filming it. We were there putting it together.
Yeah, it was. That's pretty much it. It's like it still feels like you're doing stuff with your friends. You know what I mean? Like when you're a kid, let's go ride our bikes. It's like, well, let's go get a barrel and light it on fire. And take some stuff.
Fuck yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know. I love bands. There's some friends of mine called. Have you ever heard of Wayne Grow from Van?
I don't know if I've heard of them or not.
I should. Yeah, check them out. They're really fucking good. But it's like they don't take themselves super serious, but it makes them. I feel like the same thing with you guys, and that's not to put someone down, because obviously you take it serious.
Yeah, it's like that's what we go for. It's like it's seriously a joke kind of thing. It's like, well, the parts when you have to be serious, it's serious, but you can't sweat the small stuff, I guess. And if shit goes wrong, it goes wrong. If you screw up, you screw up. We're not going to rip each other apart over it kind of thing. As far as like, oh man, why'd you miss those riffs? I don't know. I was just staring into space. It's like, oh yeah, okay,
Well, I think what like even the idea of hanging and setting things on fire, the whole sort of vibe and message is like it's fun. It's dudes who care about each other, having fun, and like you get to partake in that fun a little bit, I feel.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of just keeping, friendships alive in that sense, just by hanging out and doing goofy stuff. Still not trying to forget that you're an adult sometimes. We're going back to our day jobs and stuff. So it
Yeah.
can be guys for a little bit longer.
When you were younger, did you have like what did you think a band was? Because like I feel like Bong Jovi, like you guys were young enough, maybe it was a thought of like shit, this could go somewhere. Did you ever like perceive like music and bands as more than what it kind of is? Because I think it is what it is. It's like friends making music, but I used to think it was gonna be this giant thing.
I guess like it's a bit of both in this sense. You kind of think you're like, well, it's going to kind of like this could be this big thing where one day you're just kind of playing on the small stage and then it just gets picked up and you're signed. But I think there was always that kind of like, yeah, it's going to be what it's going to be. It's, I guess, how much you want to put into it is how much you might get out of it in the sense of that. So it was never too blown up. I definitely thought you had to, like, I guess like party and travel a lot harder in that sense. And it's like, oh, wait, this is doable. It's just kind of like camping and it's like drinking a 12 pack. It's not like I got to keep up with these crazy people all the time and stuff. So I think it definitely seemed like it was a lot more welcoming than I thought when I was a little kid. Kind of thing.
When did you start playing, man? Like, how did you get into it?
I had always wanted to start playing music. I guess like my cousin Joe came down with a guitar like on a family visit. He's from Ontario, and he came down with a guitar for a visit kind of thing. We were super young. I think I was like 10.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I have those. My dad's like, well, I think I got a guitar in the attic somewhere, an old buddy's. So I, immediately was like, oh, I'd like to do music. Started playing some music with some friends, and it's definitely not very good. You know what I mean? Like just the neighborhood kids and stuff. And then, I guess I just kind of went from there. I guess it was probably grade 8 going into grade 9. I met Josh, and he's like, I'm doing metal. Like he was a bit of an older kid. And I was like, do that. It's like, okay, this is what I want to do. And it's pretty much always been pretty consistently just playing since then. And I guess I've just always been like, oh yeah, like I'm in it now. Let's keep doing this.
Huh. So like, I always like to think back to so many peers of ours were those same young kids that were intrigued by music, but some people it sticks with them. Like, do you ever think of why you didn't stop?
I think like when my parents were super supportive, and then all the guys that we jammed with, their parents were super supportive. We had a music teacher that was pretty cool in school. Like she would let me and Jesse kind of just play guitar all day because he was in my music class, and it was like, oh, if you're gonna want to skip, why don't you just come play guitar instead, and we'll stay here in the music. It's like, okay, well, that's cool.
That's sick.
And yeah, I think that's kind of what did it there. Just being around people who supported you and didn't really need to make you want to go shoot for the stars as far as like, okay, I should go to Harvard or something. It's like, well, do pay your bills.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Like, cause it is fucking rad. It's one of the raddest things I've ever, stumbled across. And I know people find different venues. Like some people are, fucking, I don't know, into baseball or into like speed skating. I have no idea.
Yeah, whatever their thing is, fly fishing out of a speedboat or something.
Yeah, exactly. But like, the connects you make, that's a huge theme of this fucking podcast is like, just the people who still do it. And like, it definitely gets harder. And you probably feel that too from when you started to now with work and just balancing all that shit.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Because you're trying to balance, everything in the sense of like, you still want to be able to hang out with your girlfriend and still want to be able to, see your cat when you get home and all that. So you're like, well, how am I going to be able to make this much time between work and that? But like, I guess it gets harder, but you find the ways to do it in that sense too. Because like my girlfriend's super cool with, me doing tour stuff. She's like, yo, where are you today? Hey, did you know this town has this? And always kind of sending me messages like that. Cool. So she's great. And my work's like, I got lucky with my schedule too. I got a pretty cool boss who kind of like, I work Monday to Friday. Wow. So most weekend shows I'm okay and stuff like that. And, use some vacation time. And then they're pretty good with me being like, hey, I got some shows. Is this cool? And they're like, yeah, good to go. So
that's cool.
Make it easier in those kind of parts of it.
Sure. Do any of the band guys have it harder?
I guess, well, Jackson and Jordan are both carpenters at the same place. So in the sense of where they have it harder with like, they've got more, they're like, oh man, my boss is literally not working with two people today kind of thing.
Yeah.
In that sense, they got more of the guilt and responsibility. But I think we're all pretty lucky with the situations we've had. Like Jordan dates another musician as well, so she knows what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
Jack, like he's around hanging out and stuff like that. He's got skate buddies and all that too. So yeah, like I don't know, everybody kind of covers for everybody when we're away, at least too.
Sure. Yeah, that is something to. I remember when I moved, thinking like, "Fuck, I gotta find a job that will be cool with time off." And it's still a thing. I'm still kind of have that in my head. Like, I'm actually trying to find a new job right now in this, and that's a thing. It's like, I don't want to stop doing this. And the older I get, I feel like it's harder to justify the need for that time off. Because if you're like 20, it's like, oh, he's a kid, but like, I'm adult now, and yeah, it's harder.
And that's kind of it too. It's like, even like, I think there was a turning point with like my work where it's like, oh wait, I saw some posters for your band and stuff, and it's like, okay, you're kind of actually doing something. It's not so, going out to go have fun, so to speak, in that sense. So it's like, I think that's the other thing too, is it's like you said, it's like you're getting older. It's not as easy to be like, hey man, I'm like 19, my first band and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But people eventually get to know you and stuff like that, and kind of it's like, oh, okay, I see. This has been a thing you've been doing for a long time. This isn't a just trying to go and waste time kind of thing.
Yeah.
So people warm up a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that once they see it in action, and because I try to explain to some people, and you might have been in these shoes too, where you try to explain why it's fun, but you can't because they don't do it and they don't understand it.
Yeah, and it's like, even sometimes you hear yourself saying it in the sense of, you're like, well, why is it fun? It's like, well, man, I get there, load in all of my heavy gear, help my buddies, hang out and watch a bunch of bands, which is great, but it's loud.
Yeah.
And
the late nights.
Yeah, why do you think why is it fun? It's like, I don't know, man. I just can't stop making riffs and stuff like that. And it's I compare it sometimes to when you're a little, like I used to play hockey. So when I was a little kid, it's like, always loved playing the games, didn't so much love the practice. And you're like, well, why didn't I like it? I was still skating and shooting and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those, it's just something, it's something about it, I guess. It's the when you plug in the amp, kick into the song kind of thing. And it's just nothing else feels like that, I guess.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it really is something still worth pursuing. And it is harder and harder for me to do, but again, like I'm like you, man. I got a supportive fucking, my wife's the best, and my job's through time in seeing me leave, and I try to do you do this where you downplay it, where people like, I downplay the band a lot, where it's just like, oh, we're just doing a thing, but it might be like Sabs just did that heavy MTL and it was like the biggest gig of my life, but I didn't want to say that.
I know what you mean. I kind of do the same at work, because it's like, well, we've got a gig coming up with Red Fang in October, and then there's been a couple people at work who do know that, and they're like, oh man, congrats. I'm like, well, it's a gig kind of thing. Like, I'm really excited, but and it's like, I don't know why I downplay it, but maybe it's like, it's not that serious. You get worried when it's kind of like, oh, maybe it's serious now. You're like, I wasn't trying to be serious.
Yeah. I think it is also, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just questioning myself now too. Like, I'm proud of it, but part of me thinks like they don't get it, so I'm not going to waste my energy on trying to explain it. But at the same time, I do know that people are excited for me. So
yeah, it's like sometimes you're like, well, maybe what they think I'm doing might make them more excited than what I tell them what's going on. I should leave it at that.
Yeah, well, a lot of the time it is that, where the like, oh, you're playing Windsor? It's like,
yeah, exactly. We're like, yeah, it's like
it's a gig.
Small town. See, it's a gig. It's anywhere, man.
Yeah.
We played like Antigonish, Nova Scotia one time, kind of thing. It's like, you guys are going down there? We're like, man, there's a gig, and it's like, it was an awesome time. There was more deer outside of our motel room than there was people at the gig. We still had a
Oh my god, that's a great review for like a show.
If you like deer, it's good.
Oh my god, that's sick, man. But yeah, fuck. What are you guys touring in?
It's basically our biggest cost killer as far as distance has been, like, getting the rental vans kind of thing for the long hauls. Local shows and like local kind of tour area, we've been using Jordan's minivan. He got like an old $800 minivan, and it's pretty much one of those every time we're like, okay, well, let's leave 2 hours early in case it breaks down.
Yeah,
Hasn't
yeah.
done it yet, but it's really close to its last legs.
Mm.
So right now we're kind of in the looks of like buying a van. Eventually we're going to get one of those big old vans kind of deal. But we're looking at just getting kind of like, it's usually a Grand Caravan. We know how to like Tetris everything into a Grand Caravan. Jackson's the shortest one. I think he's like 5'9". So it's like, it's pretty tight in there, but it works as long as we get it and stretch.
Yeah.
We're going to jump in with the heart attack kids just to save some space kind of deal. Do some
Okay.
gear. So it'll be cool to feel like we're in a big band touring van kind of thing.
Man, that's like in my head. I just pictured like that's the level, like entry level, and then a few levels up are when bands are sharing a tour bus. Like it's like, oh, we're sharing a van.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much exactly what it is. Moving on up. But yeah, shout out to the Grand Caravan. Good on gas.
Yeah.
Stowing the extra storage.
Dude, I've only toured in caravans. Like
they're perfect.
They are the best, dude. They tow well.
Yeah.
You can Tetris well in them, and like, man, me and Mark, that's what we use. Like we have in the caravan, we have me and Mark, and then 2 810s, a full stack, 3 heads, drums, merch, and like a carpet and like merch racks and a fucking milk crate with like van supplies. Like, yeah,
whatever stuff. Yeah, well, it's like that's just it. You make it all fit right, and so we got the 4 of us, and then the 2 4x12s, 4x10 amp, and then the drum set and the merch, and you're just like, okay, well, nobody hit the brakes too hard. We don't want the flying.
Dude. Well, I think about that a lot. Where like it's packed. Like I have an 810 in my fucking hardware bag behind my head, and it is like if I get in I'm fucked.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. You're just like, okay, man, we'll make sure the shuffle's good on the iPod or something. I sent some really cool text before I leave. Yeah. You're like, yeah, I hope the seatbelts work. You're like, I hope the seat holds up, man.
Jesus. It's crazy. Yeah. It really kind of is like I'm trying to think what else. I know people put their necks out and risk things for what they love, but yeah, it's pretty fucking dangerous to be that crammed in a van cruising for that many miles. Like,
that's just it. And for some of it, for us, even Ontario is getting used to like Ontario and Quebec getting used to the bigger highways and the traffic, and you're like, holy shit,
yeah,
like, small hole in my back window, and that's it.
Fuck me,
but,
man.
Yeah, you get the 4 people on co-pilot or whatever. Make sure everybody's kind of looking out the window, keeping an eye out.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those. You just hope you got the gods of rock and roll keeping an eye on you.
Yeah.
You get to big.
Totally, man. Yeah, the gods of metal or whatever. Just like say a little prayer before you go put on Sabbath and like just hope you make it to the venue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, put your Sabbath on if you want to make it.
Fuck.
If not, the devil won't take you.
Yeah. What are you playing out of these days? Like, what's your gear rundown?
Right now I've been running through. I've got PJ from Iron Giant's old carbon head. So I think it's an old like 1970s either bass or guitar head. So it's got a lot of natural crunch to it. I got it all like fixed up, new wiring and stuff. It's been a GK 4x10 and an Ampeg 4x10 that I've been kind of running lately.
Okay.
But I picked up, I've got a new amp I'm picking up there. I won't use it for the tour just to save space, but I'm getting a 2x15 Ampeg fridge amp. So I'm getting upgraded to the big kids amp. Buying it off Jay from the Cancer Bats. I saw he had it for sale, and I was like, oh man, I really want that.
Sick.
And my parents are helping me kind of, so spotting me a couple bucks for it so I don't have to pay them for the tour and all that.
That's
pretty excited.
That's so great, man. It's so dope that your parents support it. Was your dad like a musician too, or your mom?
Yeah, well, my mom always loved music and stuff like that. So like my mom and dad always went to concerts. But my dad's an avid bagpipe player. So he plays the bagpipes. He's got the kilt and everything. And he's been playing that since as long as I can remember. And the whole family too. So it's like all, his dad, his brothers and all that, they all play bagpipes. So I think I've been around music since the start. And when I wanted to play guitar, they were just like, he's like, yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And then you can learn the bagpipes after. So I'm still, learning guitar. So learn the bagpipes later.
How have you like ever fucked around with it? Like,
I tried. Like, it's really hard. You gotta you gotta fill up the bag with like air kind of thing first of all, and then kind of like hold the note to the so it's like you fill up the bag with air to get the drone thing going on, to get that sound going, and then you got to kind of like blow in between for the note sounds as if you're playing like a flute or something. but it's also like a reed instrument. So it's like it's got that buzzing thing going on. It's basically like I don't have enough lung capacity for that.
Too many
But
darts.
yeah, one of these days, that's pretty much it. Too many darts, can't do it yet. But like the bagpipes first thing.
Do your parents, like, know that you can play bars? Do they come out to your shows?
They used to come out like, well, they still do when they can, but they're getting older. We're playing later kind of things now. But when we were kids, they were like I would be 16, I guess, playing those bar shows, and it's like at first they were kind of like, oh, are you sure you're gonna be okay? It's like, well, yeah, I'm with everybody I know. And then at the end of it, it's like, okay, did you want to drive to the bar later on? Probably don't drink so you don't get in trouble and stuff. And they still try to make it out when they can. Oops, sorry.
Okay.
They still try to make it out when they can there. It's my parents both work mornings kind of deal. So
Yeah.
we're closing, it's too late. But they bought like the pre-orders for the records, always buy the t-shirts and stuff and share the videos and whatnot.
That's sick.
So they're still supporting however they can if they're not making it out.
That's awesome, man. That's fucking awesome. Do you remember your first gig? I feel like there's two answers where people say like, oh, the first gig, like original music, and then like a first like covers band gig. But I guess kind of I'm interested in both.
I guess the first gig that would have been like, it would have been covers, would have been, me and Jesse played guitar, both of us at the time. We played like our grade 8 talent show kind of thing at the middle school that I went to, and it was like a couple Slayer songs and stuff. It's like nobody liked it, and it probably wasn't the best renditions of Slayer, but yeah, it lasts. And then I do remember the first gig we played. It was one of those all ages shows that Don from the Motor League and Nathan from the Motor League had put on. And it was like, they had like, I can't remember, it was like a March Madness kind of show going on. So like 10 bands would play it. A couple of the larger bands in town would close it. And it was our first gig. It was an all ages show. It was packed. All our friends were there. All the other kids who were at the shows were there. And I've always remembered that because that was another big, like, no turning back point. You're like, oh, this is, you can do it.
Yeah. What do you remember from that gig? Like, do you remember, was it Bong Jovi or was it a different band?
This was before, but it was still somewhat of the same members. Like Josh played in it was Sigil of Aeons, which was like a very metal band at the time. Jesse played bass in that band. Josh played guitar. I played the other guitar. And I guess the big thing I remember is the first time seeing people mosh to your music, where I was like, wow, it's moshable. It is heavy. And then I remember just, everybody being like, wow, that was cool, and like not trying to gloat in that sense, but you're like, oh, sick. Like we thought it was kind of cool, but you guys like it too. Okay.
Cool. That's fucking awesome. You never forget that. I feel like, especially when you're doing, was it original stuff you guys were doing?
Yeah, so that was all originals. Like, we did still have one Slayer cover in there. We were doing Bloodline at the time. But yeah, it was mostly originals that Josh had written, and then later songs or stuff that me and Jesse and Josh had written kind of deal. So we always kind of did that. We never took too much of a cover route overall. Like, we learned a lot, but we were always interested in making our own music and stuff, and it always just kind of that way, I guess.
Man, that's so sick, eh? Do you have footage of that gig?
I don't know. I could take a look. There might be something. Every once in a while, I see an old picture pop up on the Facebook memories. So maybe.
Oh, that's so sick, man. Yeah, I love that shit. I love looking back. And actually, I found a bunch of VHS cassettes that I have from high school when like we were just doing like System of a Down covers and shit.
Man, awesome.
Oh my God, so embarrassing. Well, I think mostly what I was wearing is more embarrassing than how we were sounding.
Oh man, I hear you there too. Like I look back and I'm just like, oh, I like, those shoes and that t-shirt, and you're just like, I can remember when that was really cool kind of thing, or the thing that was like, in the bands that were like, really popular at the time. Yeah. And it's always back.
Have you guys ever?
Go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Same me, it's always hearing the higher voice. You're like, yeah, hey guys, how's it going?
Fucking Slayer's awesome, eh?
Exactly.
Have you guys ever been nominated for an ECMA?
We haven't been nominated for an ECMA, but I don't think we submitted for this. We like for an ECMA yet. We do have the Music New Brunswick Awards, and last year we did, or maybe it was 2 years ago. Well, we won an award for one of our for best loud recording, I think it was, of the year. Okay. And so that was kind of cool. It was one of those. Didn't necessarily think we'd be in the running, but like as a Music New Brunswick member, we were able to submit it. So we're like, hey, let's try. Our EP was still within the time to like submit it and stuff. And yeah, we got to go to the kind of the gala and all that stuff and do the whole award show. And that was really sick. It was nice being recognized as the heavy band, I guess you could say.
That's what I find interesting with that East Coast, man, is like they have the ECMAs and there is a real pride in the arts out there, I feel. Like in all spectrums, yeah, metal to like folk and whatever. It's really really cool.
Yeah, I think like it seems to be kind of, I guess you could say, like as far back as I could remember, at least here, it's always been supported of art of all kinds, like, you know, painting, murals, sculptures, music especially too. And I think like there's always been a really strong music scene here, either if it's been like kind of like, you know, Celtic style music, more traditional kind of style music like that, or like Acadian music. So I think there's always been people playing, and there's always been people that have remembered that, who, you know, maybe make the groups and can make the laws or the funding and stuff.
Wow.
So they never cut it out down here.
It's like music award things are always kind of weird, but I love it when I feel like the underdogs kind of, you get recognized as legitimate, you know? Like we don't need that, but it's cool sometimes when, I don't know, it adds a bit of fuel to the tank in a weird way.
That's kind of it. It's like, it's exactly that. It's like, man, we're the underdogs in the sense of we're outside the norms of a lot of the music that should kind of fall in those categories. But when you get one of those nods, I guess you could say, it's like, oh, sweet. I think, you know, they kind of recognize we've been putting some work in too. And that's kind of part of it. Like, hey, you know, keep on going kind of deal. Like, you know, we that you're out here doing stuff. Yeah. And it gave us some drive to really kind of like, they gave us some big drive to really kind of just keep pushing forward once we got that, in the sense of like, it's the middle of winter. It's like, well, what can we do? We're not really playing any shows right now. So what do we do in the meantime? And it's like, well, we got to work on another music video right after that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little bit of inspiration there.
Yeah, man. Sometimes I think that's super important, to be inspired by anything, even if it is a push, like a nod like that. You need it.
Yeah, that's just it. It's a little like, you know, jumpstart. It could be anything, you know, you go see this one place, you go do this event, go see a concert with your buddies, and you're like, man, I got this idea now. And it just takes that little spark kind of thing.
Fuck yeah, man. Well, dude, man, I do them about this long, and then what I want to do is like a Hibzine thing, which is just I play a track, and I might as well just play Rotten Eggs because it's the first thing you can grab right now, right? This thing will air on Monday. So where are we at? What day is it? The 4th. So this is out. People listening, this will be out this Friday.
Nice.
Because this will be the Monday, and you can pre-order. And yeah, we might as well just do Rotten Eggs, right?
Yeah, man.
Okay, cool. So let me put that in right here. I'll do it after the fact. I always say that every episode, just so you're not wondering, like, where is it? But yeah, this is this is Rotten Eggs by Diner Drugs off the record As Is, right here. that. So As Is, the title itself, what's kind of like the thought behind that?
It really like I guess it kind of started with Jesse kind of just said it. We were throwing around album names. And he's like, man, just leave it as is. And then he's just like, as is. We're like, well, that's pretty good actually, kind of thing, because
Yeah.
it is kind of what it is. It's kind of the songs we put together. There's not been too much that's been really moved around or anything from the original final writings of it and stuff like that. And it's pretty much a compilation of what we kind of started as a band, I guess you could say, like the sound that we had and kind of the sound we're moving towards a little bit more. So I guess it's, it's pretty much us as we are now and as we are currently, kind of thing. And it just has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, you know what? That's really, I don't want to say accurate because that sounds weird, but yeah, for sure, your most recent work should be what you hope to be the best representation of where you're at that time. So
yeah, and that's how we kind of feel with it. It's like that's kind of where we've kind of gotten a little bit heavier on this record. We're a little less towards some of the rock and roll kind of riffs. Like there's still a lot of those and catchier kind of choruses and stuff, but we're kind of getting louder, I guess you could say, looking at more weird sounds and more diminished notes and stuff like that. And yeah, it's kind of just like the next step ahead, I guess you could say.
Hell yeah, man. I think that's one of the dopest things is there's never an end to this. You should always be getting better, and it's never done.
Yeah, that's just it, man. It's like you can always find something new to kind of just like, I guess, strive for as a musician. You're just like, okay, cool, man. I've got sweeps down. Well, let's learn arpeggios now. And it's like, there's always something that can be added on. Bagpipes, I get ready to do bagpipes.
Yeah, bagpipes, yeah. Fucking A, man. Well, okay, so people can go to dinerdrugs.bandcamp.com and pre-order the record. It comes out this Friday. There's vinyl. There is, the pre-orders are up. I'm just looking up now. Yep.
Yeah.
And Facebook page is there. Everyone can find stuff, right? It's pretty easy.
Yeah, man. I think it's all easily connectable on the onlines now.
Yeah, fucking A. Awesome. Well, Chris, man, so good to see you. So good to hang and talk, man. Fuck.
I miss you, and I miss your beautiful face, too. I can't wait to see
I used to do these just audio only, but this is the way to fucking go, man. I get to
man,
see my
it's
friends.
so awesome. Man, you get to see me getting all sweaty in my apartment, too. Like, I'm staying off so it's not too loud. It's like, oh, shit.
I love it, man. Well, listen, I'll start editing this, and you'll get tagged, and this will go up Monday. But yeah, people listening, make sure you grab that record, support these dudes, and if you're out on the East Coast, go see them on tour. Do you know the dates off the top of your head or no?
I know it starts September 13th. We're in Halifax. September 14th, we're in Moncton. And then I know it runs until, I don't know all the rest of the dates, but we'll be in Montreal and Quebec City the following weekend after that.
Killer.
Yeah, I'm not sure of all of them off the top of my head because I'm bad at dates. I just know when we start and when I do end up getting home eventually.
That's kind of all you need to know. Everyone else can find it. Okay. Well, listen, man. Chris, thanks, man. I'm gonna grab another beer and edit this. But yeah, tell the guys I say hi and I'm stoked for you, man. Super stoked for the new record, man.
Yeah, thank you, and I'm stoked for you too. Congrats on having your kid's first day of school and all that,
Thanks,
man. And I look forward to seeing you too, man. I'll tell the boys I say hey or you say hey there. And hopefully we'll catch you in your town pretty soon too.
100%, man. 100%, man. Sounds good.
All right, dude. Well, you have a good night and thanks for having me, eh?
Anytime, buddy. Anytime. Good to see you.
Peace out, dude.
All right.
Cheers.
Peace, bud.
See ya.
Hell yeah. I didn't bring it up, but yeah, there's not a funny story, but that Plan B venue had apartments above it, and eventually they kind of became shitty apartments. But at some point, Sabs played and the Bong Jovi dudes played, and upstairs I remember Shawnee doing some tats and just a moment, a tour moment, definite tour moment that sticks out in my head. Chris is so sweet. Those Bong Jovi dudes were so rad. And yeah, Diner Drugs is just an extension of good people making good music. So grab that record if you guys can. And let me shout out the sponsors. We have Brew'ed Biscuits, the all-natural spent grain pet treat. Go to twospentgrains.ca. That's TWO. Grab a bag for yourself and your pup, mostly for your pup. You can grab them for yourself too, actually. You can't eat them. They're really good. They're affordable, and your dog will love them. HeartbeatHotSauce.com for your hot sauce. Best hot sauce in the world, hands down. Go buy some. Find them locally at your store. They are in most stores across Canada and in the States. ironcladgraphics.com. They do the silk screening for me. And Kevin Rego of Heffner Toyota. Go see Rego, buy a car. Wellington Brewery is the last one. I had a Hell's Lager, just crushing those. As you can hear, my allergies have been fucking me up, but thanks for listening. The shirts I have, they're still on sale. Yeah, if you're listening to this now, it's still on sale. $15 will get you the shirt, the pin, the patch, sticker. Great way to support the show, great way to promote the show, and designed by Shawnee. They look great. Buy one if you guys can. Instagram is Takerwide Podcast. Homepage is takerwide.com. And that's it. I think that's all. As always, always thank you guys for listening. And have a good week. Have a wonderful week. Love you. See you later. Adios.